Welcome to New Earth Activations with Raina. Today I was asking people to get still and to ask their heart some questions. And I'd like to continue on with that. Excuse me. If you'd like to get still, sit or lie down, eyes closed or open, palms up, focused on your breathing, and dismiss all thoughts. If your mind wanders off, bring it back to the breath. Let me ask your heart this. What does it feel about those that hate, that commit horrible crimes against another because of their hate? Ask your heart what it feels about that. Then ask your heart what it feels about others copying everything you're doing and expecting a payout, claiming your work as theirs when they did nothing to help you, but only try to dig up dirt on you, dirt that isn't there. Now for me, I find an enemy to be absolutely useless and worthless for many reasons. Because I feel that they're lost souls, and if they're going out of their way to try to get some detective or to get some kind of lame report written by some corrupt official, whether it's a judge or a doctor or a lawyer or a police officer or an accountant or a banker or whatever have you, that's going to blow up in their face big time. Because they didn't have the right intentions. They were going at it with the intent to hurt and harm. So what goes around comes around. I'm just saying, if we all just looked at ourselves and rather than wanting what another has and trying to take it from them, something that never belonged to you, but you're too lazy to do the work, and you think you're going to be successful with your corrupt ways. If you haven't been successful yet this far, you are never going to be. Because the world does not work like that any longer. Those days are dead and gone. The world no longer supports corruption. It no longer supports those that are trying to hurt and harm others in ways that in all the ways they can, or are trying to, no matter how many people you pay off. Instead of copying what somebody else is doing and trying to claim it as your own, why don't you do the work? Because nobody respects someone that is a copier. And if you think you're getting away with copying somebody else, you're never getting away with it. Like I said, nothing goes unseen. But if you've done horrible things to people because of greed, or to try to ruin another's reputation because of greed, what do you think you're doing to yourself and everyone involved with you? Ask your heart that. You think that by stealing somebody else's identity, that you're going to get what's meant for them? Because you stole their identity, because you have their mail going to your house, because you're claiming to be somebody that you're not? It's never going to work. No matter what you do, it will never work. Why? Because the dark never wins. The dark is a permanent loser. I mean, it has its purpose to wake you up. But if you've done so many horrible things to so many people, you've destroyed your entire life, because you'll never know what you could have had. But you sacrificed all that you thought you were, and you lost all you never knew about. That's really sad. That you had such hate for another, such jealousy for another. Rather than do the work and go within and focus on yourself, all you thought about was destroying another's reputation and trying to steal everything they had and put them 6 feet under. Like, who the fuck are you? Excuse how I'm speaking right now. That you think you can take the life of another and try to destroy somebody's reputation while you're running around with their ID, their license, and you're claiming that you're them. And you're getting these false reports written about them and their names so that what? When you're the one that's committing these awful crimes against so many. And everyone that's involved is out. And if they're not down, they will be. They lost everything by being involved with people who are corrupt. People who have no integrity. People who don't know how to be honest. People who try to destroy and steal everything from somebody else and then put them 6 feet under while ruining their reputation. I mean, I don't know how those people can even live with themselves. I don't even know how in this day and age, that you can't even look at people like that and know that they reek of lies. I don't know. I've never done anything to hurt anyone. I just made spirituality a priority and kept going with it. I don't care who liked it. I don't care who didn't. I don't care who had my back. I don't care who didn't. I don't care who was doing it and who wasn't. I just knew it's something I needed to do. Whether people around me agreed with it or not, it's none of their business. It's not their life. If they were smart enough, they would have jumped on the information that I gave them and did the work for themselves too. But now that you have a record of what you've been doing in the dark, where you think no one's seeing what you're doing, you lost everything. And there's nothing or no one that you could pay that's going to bring it back. And as far as your debts are concerned, I don't know how long that's going to take you to pay it back. And personally, I don't see it happening in this lifetime or the next. I don't see that happening at all, really. But no matter what you do, everyone who did that to somebody will eventually lose everything, if they haven't already. This goes for any corrupt doctor, any corrupt judge, any corrupt police officer, any corrupt banker, any corrupt accountant, any corrupt lawyer, if you're putting out false reports against someone you never met before in your entire life, and you're getting paid off, and you're bribed, eventually you lose everything. And if you're spiritually dead, you're fucked. I'm going to put it plain and simple. So I highly recommend that you start getting on your hands and knees and praying to the higher power. Get the forgiveness prayers by Howard Wills and start asking forgiveness for everyone that you've ever hurt before. And worry not about those that have hurt you, because you went out of your way to destroy many people's lives. People who did nothing to you, who you barely even know, because you were dishonest about your own situation. And you were so filled with hate. Hate that you have for yourself. And you directed it at another who did nothing to you. You better get the book The True You by Erica Rock. I don't know if it can even help you at this point. And get the forgiveness prayers by Howard Wills. Eventually, you'll be suffering the consequences of all that you did do. In secret when you thought nobody else was watching. And how many people you paid off. I don't know how this could help you at this point. And I honestly don't know what will happen to you. Or how many breaths you have left in your own body because of all the horrible things you've done. And if the world knew exactly what you've done to so many people who did nothing to you, how do you think they'd really feel about you? If the world knew about the hate crimes that you have been getting away with committing on for so many years, and the ways you went about it, and how many people you paid off to get involved with this, how do you think the world would see you then? Do you really think you'd be welcome anywhere? Think about that. And stop copying other people and claiming it as your own. Nobody's doing it to you. And if you're reading into others to see what's coming to them or what's in store for them, and you feel that by carrying their license that you're entitled to it, or that you're going to get that because you directed your mail to you directed their mail to you. Do you really think that what God has that God is going to allow you to receive something that doesn't belong to you? For you to walk around with somebody else's ID and claim that you're them, that's identity theft. And if the world knew how many crimes you committed on so many others, what do you think how do you think they'd feel about you? Do you think they'd want anything to do with you? Well, what goes up must come down. What goes around comes around. And you will suffer the consequences of what you've done. Because when the time comes to pay your karmic debts, that's your debt. And no matter what you do, it stays with you. So you better get to work. I wouldn't take this message lightly. If you haven't done anything good in your life, now is the time. But still, it might be too late for you. Because each and every time you were given the opportunity to change your ways, to make a new decision, and you did not. You kept going on the attack again and again and again and again. And not only that, you paid off other people to do it too. And how often did you do that throughout the week, throughout the years? And you think you're going to win. The answer is never. You knew that it was the beginning of the end when you were confronted with you'll never win against me. Because the devil always loses. I didn't really want to go into this and do this right now, but I just received messages. Get a life and stop taking tabs on people that you don't even know or haven't seen in years. Obviously, you had people in your life that you should have treasured and cherished, and you did not. And so when they made the conscious choice to leave, that was permanent and forever, and you no longer know them. And it's called stalking if you're keeping tabs on them. It's no longer any of your business. And if you've never been honest or truthful about anything, don't you think now is a good time to come clean about all that you did do? Because if I know all about what you've done, how many other people know? Like, all I'm doing is working on myself. And I've been in service to all since I stepped into this. But for you to steal somebody else's identity, to steal somebody else's mail, and then have false reports written, just so that they can't collect their own money or get their house, there's something really wrong with you. And eventually your time is going to run out. And nobody knows when that's going to be. So I'd really start working on forgiveness for all those that you did hurt and harm. And soon everybody will know what you've done. And then I don't know how you're going to be able to even function in the world any longer. And then once people find out how much you paid off other people, how long you've been doing this for, and where all the money is going, because everybody knows. Not everybody, but a lot of people do. You're not hiding anything. But right now I have more important things to focus on. And what are you going to do to be the change you want to see in the world?